What's going on YouTube? Brad's Garage here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be doing an oil change on my sister's 2004 GMC Yukon. And today I'm going to show you what you need, and we'll hop into the steps of what needs to be done. First of all, in order to get the vehicle up into the air, we're going to be using these car ramps here. They go in front of those wheels, causing the car to go up into the air so we can slide underneath. Next step we got here is the oil pan right down here. It collects all your oil, so when you take it to the auto parts store, you can go dump them. Next thing we got up here is a couple garage rags, just in case you spill any oil, or you can use it to check your oil as well. Next thing we got a couple gloves, just make sure your hands stay clean. If not, you just not wear gloves. Next thing we got here is a oil filter wrench. This is going to help take off that tight oil filter if someone tightened it too hard. Next thing we got, funnel. Obviously, funnel goes into that fill oil cap, and you use it to put in the oil without it spilling out. Next thing we got is a 1/2" drive socket with a 6" extension on a 15mm socket. Next thing we got is a 1 quart of 5W30 high mileage full synthetic oil. Another 5 quarts there. This Yukon takes 6 quarts. And then here's the oil filter. Number is 51042. This is gonna go and replace that old oil filter. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the car ramps in front of the wheels, and we're gonna get the car up into the air. And then also piece of cardboard here so you don't get oil on your driveway. Alrighty, she is on the car ramps now. Next thing we gotta do is take a block and block up those rear tires so they don't roll backwards off the lift. You can also apply the e-brake. The chalk is just added protection. So with it under there, we're gonna get this oil change all started. Alrighty, we're going under the car here. I got the oil pan down. Now we just gotta look for that drain plug, and that drain plug is gonna be right back there. So we just make our way underneath the vehicle here. You see the drain plug is right there. Alrighty, well I switched sides for better access, but you can see that the oil filter is right up there next to that drain plug. And yes, the drain plug is a 15mm socket. I have that on a 1/2" drive, but 15 there. Right here, we're gonna start draining the oil and getting this oil change all done. Alrighty, before you start draining the oil, always make sure that your oil collection system has the main cap off, and then the little breather cap. That allows for all the oil to get drained into there without slowing down or even potentially overfilling the sides here. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna take our extension. Tight! It's tight. Hold up, let me just two-hand it real quick. I'll pick the camera up as the oil starts to drain out. Alrighty, so I just broke it up by hand, and now we're just gonna get the rest off. Once you get it about halfway like that, you just take that wrench away and start doing it by hand. What you want to do is, once you get it loose like that and it starts dripping, all one motion, just pull it straight out, and now it's dripping down into that. We're gonna put the bolt right there on that little cubby, and the oil is gonna slowly drain out over time, and then once it gets to a slow, steady drippage, I'm gonna take that oil filter off next. Alrighty, you got the oil filter loose, it's slowly draining, so now we're just gonna finish taking it out all the way. I don't know why they do it where it drains right next to the support beam here underneath the front diff, but man, it does it like that. So we'll just continue to, oh, the oil's a little hot, she just finished driving it, so we're gonna let the oil just drain a little bit more from that oil filter. Once it gets slower, we'll just take her off all the way. Alrighty, so I got that oil filter out, just put it right there in the drain plugs. So now it's just slowly leaking out of both of those. I'm gonna get the new oil filter here in a second. Sorry for the shaky camera. It's kind of hard to film with one hand and, you know, kind of laying down here. But we're gonna get that new oil filter in. I like to pre-fill the oil filter just a little bit, especially since this one's the up and down one. It's not gonna leak out, preventing it. So now we're just gonna get that all done. Alright, we're standing up here. I'm on my little working bench here, the Mustang. But got the oil filter here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it back into the packaging like that, so then it stays up. And I'm gonna take that 1 quart of oil, that tiny one, and we're gonna just give a little fill up on this oil filter. Alright, got that quart of oil here. Now I'm just gonna give it a quick little fill up here. Not too much, just about halfway, just so then when you go to start the car up for the first time, it'll allow it to get around. And then what I like to do is I like to just take my finger and that little extra spurt of oil, put it around that filter to help it seal up a little bit. You don't want to put too much, but you just want to give it a little bit so that sealing action gets better. Alrighty, now we're going to go underneath the car and put this new oil filter in hand tight. Alrighty, back under here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the shop rags and we're going to clean that threads off from the oil, where the oil filter is. We're going to make sure that surface is nice and clean, so then the new one will be able to go on there and not leak. Next thing you want to do, shove it up all the way up and in there and just start tightening it down. If you feel like it's cross-threading, stop and unloosen it. But as you can see, you should just be able to free spin up all the way. And then once it gets all tight, you just want to hand tighten it. It's hard to get up and in there because, I mean, this Yukon, as you can tell, I can't really get my hand on both sides. So just gotta use your finger force to get it all tight as possible. You can always go up in there with the rag as well to help grip it. But yeah, once you get it all hand tight like that, you're all good to go. Then you could clean up the surface of where the oil had dripped just with the cloth. You don't have to go extreme and start brake fluid or brake cleaner. But yeah, you just want to go through all the surfaces. Once you got it all clean, start tightening up the oil bolt back up and in there. Just hand tight it, and then once you get it hand tight, what you want to do is you want to take your wrench with your extension and your bolt. You want to put it on the tighten setting, obviously. Then what you want to do is you want to ratchet it back and give it a nice old yank, like so. You don't want it too tight and you don't want it too loose. If you go too tight, then next time you're gonna have a hard time taking it off. But now that all that's in there, we're gonna go up into the engine bay and start filling her up with oil. Alrighty, when we come to the side of the vehicle here, you can see where this oil cap is. We're just gonna take that off. Sorry for the lighting, it's kind of bright outside right now. But take it off, set it off to the side. We're gonna come over here and grab our other rag and our funnel. We're gonna throw the funnel in there and start filling her up with oil. I like to add the 5 quarts first, start it up, let it cycle around, check the oil level, and then add the other quart last. Alright, now we're gonna start filling her up with oil. Nice brand new oil for the car. You really honestly can't really go wrong with all brands. With this one, we're just going with O'Reilly, one of the cheaper options, and then you can go with other ones, but honestly, my personal opinion, unless you're not really driving the car as like a race car, you don't really need to put the nicest oil in there unless you're obviously for maintenance reasons. But just to get around town on the cheaper side, all oil is oil, so O'Reilly's oil is what we're doing it for this one. But yeah, once we get this 5 quarts all filled up, I'm gonna start the car, obviously take the funnel out. You start with the funnel, it's gonna hit the valves and the springs, which would not be good. But yeah, we just get it all filled up. Every last bit counts, you know what I'm saying? Also, while we're here, one recommendation I recommend while doing oil changes is put on old dirty clothes. As you can see, I got a little bit of oil on my old sweatshirt, which isn't too bad. I don't really care. This sweatshirt's it's been old, so whenever you're doing an oil change, always just make sure that you're always putting in the work and using some old clothes. Now that we have those 5 gallons added, we're going to take the funnel out here in a second. Just let every last bit get out of the funnel, we're gonna grab our other rag here and we're gonna put it inside the funnel where the bowl is of the funnel, like so. And then you can take it out, give it a little tap, then you can flip it over. No oil spilt yet. We'll just set that across the way like that here. And then I mean, you could always take it off, but I'll just put on the oil cap for reasons, just in case something goes in there. But yeah, what we'll do is obviously take this off. You could leave the hood open or you could close it. I'm just gonna close it about most of the way. I'm not gonna let it latch, but just closed. And then take the rear chalk off, of course, because if you don't, you're not gonna roll backwards off the ramps. And right here, we're just gonna get it off the ramps here, and then we'll get that last quart filled up and check the oil. Alright, she is off the little floor jacks there. Now, not only do we have a lot better angle, but we have a better view. We're gonna take that oil cap off. As you saw, I had started it and taken it off, and so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna check that oil level to see if it even hits the dipstick, which most likely it won't, and so we'll have to add that last quart, of course. But we're just gonna take this out. It's a long one, but let me probably put something better here. 1 second. Go right here. No. It looks like it works. Alrighty. So we're gonna take it out. Since the car was just idling and running, you always wanna dry it back off that oil so you get an accurate reading. Once you get it dipped up and in there, take it back out, check the oil level, and if it's hard to see, but it's just right there at that bottom piece. So we're gonna add that rest of the cord in, put it back in. Already added it. We're just gonna put it in there in the funnel. Is it harder that way? Yeah, but I mean, it's not too bad of a way to do it. It's just 1 quart. If it was a big bottle, then I'd be putting in the funnel. Another way you could do it too is you could cut one of these up, put it on top, and then you can use that as a funnel as well if you do not have one. But now that's all empty. We're gonna put the oil cap back on. We're gonna check the oil again. I always like to wipe it off again. So just wipe it. And then I like to check it a couple times, just because you can never be too sure about how much oil you put in there. But as you can see there, it's a little hard to see, but flip back to the other side. It's right there exactly at that fill mark. We'll wipe it, put it back in, take it back out, and double check. And as you can see, it's hard to tell because of the sun, but it's right there at that fill mark. Now, that's how you do an oil change on a 2004 GMC Yukon. Eventually, we'll be doing more oil changes on the other vehicles I own, but for now, we'll just be stealing my sister's car for that oil change. But now, it's all done. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything I did during the oil change, make sure to drop them down in the comments below. And thank you for watching.